Miss Page, I'm interviewing Miss Fitzgerald, and one of the questions was, where are you from?
I'm actually an Army brat, so my parents are originally from Pine Bluff, well, my mom is from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. My dad is from Parkdale and Dermott, Arkansas, and then I'm an Army brat. So I lived in Washington, Arizona, Denver, Colorado, Kansas, Virginia, Georgia, New Jersey, Arkansas, a couple of different places.
Another question I had was, what motivated you growing up as a child?
As a child, I loved to read. I loved to read, and I love fashion. So like, I love putting my outfits together. I love dancing. I loved reading like mythology books and like stories about girls and all that.
What inspired you to be a teacher?
Okay, so I wanted to be a teacher because number one, my mom, my grandmother, and my great grandmother were teachers. But what made me want to be a teacher was when I was in high school. I had an anthropology teacher. Her name was Mrs. Ellis, and she was just amazing. Like Miss Ellis, I met her. When I was in high school, I was like studying a lot of different religions because I was kind of like rebellious against Christianity, but I studied all these different religions. So I was in the Muslim Students Association, even though I wasn't a Muslim. And she was white. She had like a red bob, and she was, doing the Muslim prayer with the Islamic prayer. And I was like, how does she even know about that? And she actually had then traveled to Mecca and walked around the Kaaba, and I totally was like, what? I can't believe that I've met someone who has these experiences. And then in her class, she always would teach us about these different races, different ethnicities, different cultures, and it would be so amazing to me. I've always loved culture. I've always loved like the differences that people have, and so I wanted to be an anthropologist because of her. But then as far as wanting to be a teacher, when I was in high school, I didn't have anybody to go to talk about my parents' divorce. And later on, I had a mental health issue because of all the things that I had suppressed. And so I always wanted to teach high school, first of all, because they could understand the history that I'm trying to impart to them, but also because I wanted to be there for the students who are going through one of the most difficult times in their life, but also a good time.
Do you see yourself still working in 5 years? If so, why?
Oh, that's a big question. So I will say that at times I feel like I want to pursue my Shea Butter business. But at the same time, I do still I love teenagers. I love being around. I love seeing the development. I love seeing all the different dreams people have. So hopefully in 5 years I will still be teaching.
What are a couple things you feel you have done to impact the youth?
One thing that I know that I have done to impact the youth is just to give students hope. Like, don't feel like what your family has or what you've been through or anything like that is going to determine your future. I really hope that the students who I've taught have been empowered to want more for themselves and to know that they can achieve their goals and dreams.
Do you take your job serious? If so, why?
Yes, I do take my job seriously. I just had a baby, and I was like thinking about not coming back this year, but I knew I didn't want to disappoint my students. I didn't want them to feel like, like a open loose end or something like that. So I want to let them know that I am invested in walking with them on this journey.
What is something that students would be surprised to learn about you? I know about you. Let me skip that one.
Surprise? Okay, I'm trying to think. They may be surprised that I always want to be a fashion designer. I still would love to have a clothing store. I want to make my own clothing line.
What was your dream job growing up? You said teaching, right?
So really anthropology. I also want to be a museum docent. So that's the person who you're in the museum. They're like, this is a fire extinguisher. This fire extinguisher was made in the year 2021, and it comes from Pye and Baker. So like I always wanted to be able to handle artifacts and show people things from different times. I'm more of like a show and tell type of person for history.
And then what have you accomplished teaching?
One thing I accomplished was last year I was the Academy's Teacher of the Year for Procon in the student choice. Also, I was able to get a donation from Hattie Beach Chicken for the seniors last year. That really made me happy. Also, being able to work with Westwood Baptist Church and get food brought over to the students every Wednesday. We would have it on Thursday morning. That was something that I enjoyed doing. And just being a part of just the community as a whole. Like, just the spirit of the students and seeing students graduate like Aaron Jolie and Gray Manny. That meant a lot to me, just to see the students graduate.
And then that was all. Thank you, Ms. Fitzgerald.